What are you doing? Open presents. Yeah, what am I doing? Working? Yeah, that's fine.
Kyrie, what do you think about Luka's performance and his return from injury?
He did great. He did great. He missed his first couple, but I'm happy he stayed with it like he normally does and just kept playing. The pace of the game was fitted for everybody to get involved. And when we started participating on defensive end and started getting stops, especially at the end of the half, I felt like the offensive game was going to come easier to us. So I'm glad that he got into that rhythm and he fit right back in. You know what I'm saying? So we had a lot of great possessions, and that third quarter was really key for us to extend that lead. And I think he did a great job of getting us going.
You guys are undefeated when that starting lineup. You, Luka, Gaff, Lively, PJ, Clay. So what is it about that group that kind of sets the tone for the rest of the game?
It's our job, and it's our responsibility to come out with that energy and consistently do the little things, and that includes me picking up the basketball, really getting into my matchups as a point guard, and extending the offensive plays out for our opposing team closer to half court, make them waste some time, and just initiate some plays that get us going and ignite us. I love when we play fast. I love when we play with pace. I love when we're playing smart with playing smart while we're playing fast and with pace. But when we're playing well defensively and we're very communicative, we're a tough team to beat, and we know that. And that's always been our identity, especially post-finals. We know that we got to really gear up ourselves on that defensive end. We're going against some of the best in the world. And though we play Portland tonight, we're getting ready for some of the best teams. So we got to put that best effort forth and make sure we live with the results. And we can look ourselves in the mirror and say we gave it all.
Against Clippers, you guys had 8 guys in double figures. What does it say about just this team that 8 guys in double figures in a game you guys played without Luka?
Everybody eats, and that's the MO, man. That's the mentality. We're a great team. Obviously, when I'm scoring big numbers or Luka's scoring big numbers as well, but when we get 5+ guys in double figures, it's a beautiful basketball game, especially by NBA standards. Everybody has a role on the team. Got the guys that shoot the most shots, but when you get 8 guys in double figures, it doesn't happen often. And that's moments to celebrate as a team because we were swinging the ball. I didn't shoot particularly well, even though I was, throwing rocks in the ocean. I shot 6 for 25. But if you look at that stat, I got 25 clicks up and 8 guys still scored in double figures. That's a heck of a game. So, obviously we don't want to play a lot of games without Luka, but if we have to, then we got to adjust to, who's out there and the pieces and their skill sets and making sure that we're maximizing on each other's confidence. So it felt good.
What's it?
What are you going to say? He had a follow-up. What did you say?
I was just going to say, and then in tonight's game, what did you just kind of see on the play where we fell down and then were able to recover and still got it to go?
Would the NBA be the same without the Harlem Globetrotters? I don't think so. I think there were a lot of great players in the NBA, but that level of street ball creativity exists in my game, for a long period of time. So shout out to the guys that have done it before me and created that dribbling wizardry. And I'm just trying to follow suit of my predecessors and make sure I keep the play alive because it could have ended up in a turnover. So some of those plays can end up very well, or like in the first half, I ball fake Kamara, and then I try to pass it to Gaff, and some plays don't end up well. So I'm grateful that one went well.
How do you feel about where you guys are now and the pre-Christmas part of the schedule's over? You're a few games better off than you were last season. If you'd gotten off to that good start that I know everybody felt like they wanted to get off.
You said the end. What was the end of that? You said, how do I feel about that? Oh yeah, no. It's been going well outside of just injuries and some just unfortunate defensive lapses down the stretch where, there was a stretch where we had 4 games where we lost by less than 3 points, and that's difficult to stomach as a competitor because you get right there to the finish line and trying to figure out the rhythm of the team and you want to go home with a win. But I just took those as lessons, just bumps and bruises of the competition level that we're playing at. And also just not being satisfied where we are every single day. Like we know that we're working towards something bigger. We don't have to keep speaking on it, but we echo that sentiment and our goals when we're communicating as a team, which is where we want to be. So It may look good some nights, and it may not. It may, not look the best, but we want to build consistency in how we communicate with one another and our effort being put forth. So that means doing the little things and consistently looking each other in the eye and making sure we're giving our best effort and having each other's back. So I think that's the biggest growth, I would say, aspect since last year is, at this part of the portion of the season I was hurt. I was injured last year. I went down with my heel injury in Portland, ironically. And I didn't get a chance to play on Christmas in Phoenix. I don't think I needed to after Luka had 50 and 16 and something. I don't think the team needed me that game. But if you just look at the games that we played up until then, we were pretty much like hovering around 500. And I think this year we got guys that are confident in their role, and we got some great pieces that we added in. And I mean, when you have Gaff playing like the way he did tonight, and we could just interchange bigs like that, and it's a special thing, man. We have a special team, and I'm not taking it for granted at all. So I'm grateful for the bumps and bruises that we've had at the start of the season. I know it's only going to help us later on down the line.
Obviously, Luka missing 8 games is part of those bumps and bruises. In the past, this team, when he's been out, has really struggled. You guys kind of took off during that first stretch that he missed. What do you think this team learned about itself during that stretch?
I mean, number one, I just try not to be divisive about, because I think I see it from the outside looking in at times. Like when we're not playing with Luka, there's an emphasis on our team even more so because of just our success rate, with or without him. And sometimes that we pay a lot of attention to that, but we fail to realize that we have a lot of other good players that are on the team too. And I'm not saying that that's how it was in the past. I'm saying right now where we are. We are trying to build a dynasty. We're trying to build something special here, and I think that comes with change in the guard or change in the rhythm of the game or change in the functionality of how people play. And Luka's played a certain type of way for a large portion of his career. I played a certain type of way, but when you have guys that you have to implement in that are special and you want to give them confidence, so you got to sacrifice a piece of your game. And I think that's the most beautiful portion of the sport that I enjoy is like when you get to sacrifice and other guys are successful. That makes me just as happy as me scoring a basket or getting 30 a game because I know I'm going to need them down the line, and Luka's going to need them, and we're all going to need each other. So, yeah, I don't want to sound like an overexcited person, but I am at times just celebrating the little things like that because I dealt with a lot of flack when I was in Cleveland when Bron wasn't playing and we were like not good at all, and then KD didn't play when I was in Brooklyn. So I felt like when guys are not in the lineup, the pressure's on me. And I think I've been able to learn through that portion of my career, too, of just trusting other guys and letting them be themselves and allowing them to carry me, too. Sometimes you got to be carried and be okay with that as a leader. So, yeah, that's the emotion I have towards that now. So I'm happy that the guys doing their thing, but, we need a full team to win a championship. So when he's out, we just got to adjust.
Luka obviously sees that. Do you think that success kind of alleviates some pressure he might have felt?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when you're injured or when you go down with an unfortunate, time in the season where, you got to get back to your rhythm or you got to get healthy and the team isn't doing well, you're going to hurry back. And I think that's the other side of the business that we don't talk about where guys are playing injured quite often, and that leads to, even worse injury. And I've had that happen to me before. And then you have to deal with the outside noise saying, like, why isn't he back? The team needs him. They're 2-8 without him. It could be different. So I like being on this side, but I also appreciate that I would not be here without the coaching staff, making sure that we get the guys ready. I get the guys ready, and Luka staying communicative and staying active. That's what this is about in team sports. It's not an I in team. It's a me. Wait, did I say that right? Wait, there's no I in team, but there's a me. No, I'm just joking, you guys. But team sports, man, when you can celebrate the little wins, it goes a long way.
Kyrie, you're giving a lot of praise to your teammates. What does that do for the starting lineup and the team itself when, the drop-off isn't maybe not as big as it has been in the past from the starters?
You said, what does it mean to
starters and then also the team in totality?
It's very important. It's very important, and it's even a priority that you talk about it and you address it. That's what we do here. You don't get that often in a lot of locker rooms. People kind of superficially pass by each other and that's just sports, right? But when you have a dedicated group, they're focused. We don't like each other every day, but we like each other most days, and we compete hard against each other in practice, and then you see the result on the court when we play in games. I like that preparation because now you build trust in practice. Sometimes I'll practice, sometimes Luka will practice, sometimes we won't practice, but we're still playing, and we're still building our habits to be playing through each other and playing with each other and doing the little things. So that helps. When we build the habits in practice, then they go into the game, and then we're able to still be successful no matter who's in the lineup.
And also, when it comes to your game, offense is talked about a lot, but you really revved up defensively this season. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like that part of your game should be highlighted just as much as the offense?
It's not my job to highlight it, but I'm grateful that compliment is there. But yeah, the inner dialogue that I have is I'm one of the best defenders in the world, and I have to believe that. And I believe that in myself just as I've gotten better throughout my career. That has been a weakness, and that's something that people have pinpointed. But when we're out there in the game, I feel like if I'm guarding some of the best players, I do a great job. And sometimes they're going to score, but I'm living with the results with the tape that I'm watching on them, the amount of help that I'm getting from the sideline, the amount of communication I'm getting from my teammates. That all has a lot to do with my success. So, yeah, defense is not an I thing. It's just an effort thing and being in positioning and just being smarter. And, yeah, I've been seeing a lot of these young guys for 14 years now. I better be getting better on the defensive end. Like, I've been playing so long. So, yeah, just putting effort forth and then also being smart out there. So I appreciate you.
So are playing the Timberwolves obviously on Christmas. Ant's the head of the snake pretty much. Just where have you seen him grow from being with Team USA? I know you guys have played him a couple of times. Mm-hmm. Where have you seen his game grow a year or so?
Just like great artists or great athletes that have come before him, he's taken a lot from other people's games and implementing his. And that's what makes you special. That's what makes you great. I was watching some film on him yesterday and just seeing him get on his guys while he's out there. He really wants to win. And, when you have that mentality every single day, it's going to eventually carry on to your teammates. And they're still building their identity right now with Jay Randall in there. But specifically for Ant, he's been very vocal in the media, talking about his team, trying to get something going. And as a young player leading a franchise, it's one of the toughest things to do is to burden all that. So I give him credit. I respect him even more so. But you can tell that he gets advice from other guys and around the league, and the guys that he was at USA with give him advice. You can just tell he's being counseled, but also he's figuring it out on his own because that's how headstrong Ant is. He feels like I got it. So it's a great thing to see young players like that, especially Ant, getting better.
This is the fifth straight season the Mavericks have had a Christmas Day game. They only had 3 before this stretch. Just how significant is it for you as a player to be picked as one of those teams?
It feels great, man. Shout out to the NBA. They obviously want to see greatness on Christmas, so give them a good show. Had some pretty special Christmas performances, so I'm looking forward to the game and my family being there. And it's nothing like having an early game, too, and getting home after being able to break bread and just watch the rest of the competitive games and be grateful that you're not playing at 8:30. All right. Appreciate you guys.